Hello and welcome to Home Time, a little show where I try and cheer you up. It's been another mad week in lockdown. Someone dressed their dog up as Harry Potter. Someone made Dot Cotton speak backwards.
So I
really don't understand what you're saying.
And this man failed to get his son into sports.
Go, are you zooming in? Let's go, let's keep moving in. And watching that bounce.
Let's talk about our government. We are one of the worst corona-affected countries in the world. So what was Priti Patel speaking about?
During this coronavirus outbreak, car crime, burglary and shoplifting are all lower than the same period from this time last year.
That's because the shops are fucking shut. What else has gone down? Traffic jams, queues at the airport, NHS staff are using bin liners to protect themselves, and she's like, nobody's stolen any scatter cushions from Debenhams. Jesus Christ. Do you know our government fiddled the amount of PPE they claimed they'd given the NHS by counting every glove individually instead of in pairs? You need more than one glove. What are they going to have on the other hand? This? Do they want the doctors to approach sideways on like crabs? You need two gloves. They're nurses. They're not Abu Hamza. Rather than protecting our NHS, our government massage the figures to protect themselves. And it gets worse for these poor frontline workers. Have you seen the latest idea to cheer them up? Brits in quarantine can now send nudes to healthcare workers. Forget clapping, send them a dick pic. I'm not making this up. People can send photos of their junk to a website called Nudes for Heroes. How is that gonna help? Do you know how many knobs and growlers these poor people see every day? They are living in a blizzard of cocks. How is that? You wouldn't do that. Like sending a surgeon a flap snap is like giving a postman a stamp. You wouldn't do that in the street. Imagine if you saw a doctor, be like, doctor, you're doing a great job. Do you want to see my bell end? No? Okay. Nudes for Heroes. Makes about as much sense as this gate. What is wrong with people? If you want to help the NHS, stay inside. Volunteer. Raise money like this legend. We've become obsessed with flesh in this country. We live in a country where an Instagram model did this in the street.
Oh my God.
I mean, what even is that?
What do I do for a job? Jiggle.
Imagine her with her grandchildren.
How did I survive the Great Plague? By twitching my shitter.
Christ, the last time I saw an arsehole that animated, it was telling us to drink bleach. Right, let's crack on with the show. My first guest is the brilliant Louis Theroux. You're used to seeing him like this.
Give them one of these booklets and say, hey, check out my church. And if I get you to sign up for services, it helps me because I get a 10% commission on whatever you buy.
They say it brainwashes people.
It is, it's mind-numbing.
No, I'm doing the... They say it brainwashes people.
Do I look like I'm brainwashed to you?
But today, he joins us like this. Very relaxed.
Feeling relaxed because I've carved out some work time away from the family. So this is my escape. I don't know about you, but I find that the biggest challenge for me in COVID world has been getting any work done. I have 3 children, and so that whole work-life balance thing is completely out of whack. But now I'm up in my own little zone. I can do anything.
But I love the fact that you're still whispering in case they find you.
Yeah. If I speak too loudly, the little one will come up and he'll stray into shot. I'll be one of those memes on Twitter of the dad losing his shit royally with the intrusive infant.
I was just imagining that's how they could have made the bake-off even more stressful. You know, if your children were with you and there was poor Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I'm glad we raised the subject of the bake-off.
Yeah.
For me, the bake-off was surprisingly relaxing in as much as I had 2 days in a tent. It was a sort of man cave type scenario where you're just given an assignment. But what really made it relaxing was the knowledge that however badly I was doing, that Russell was behind me doing worse.
Yeah.
You were like the kid in the exam who, when you're like, I haven't revised any of these subjects, and then suddenly a kid goes like, I can't do it, and then screws up their paper and runs out of the room, and you're like, okay, I feel more relaxed now.
Yeah, I've never wanted. I kept looking away at like the woods, and I just wanted to run Forrest Gump like and just live in that forest. I found it. I honestly, it was like Guantanamo Bay. I just couldn't do it. I just come off a big tour. I was being told to make cakes, and let's not muck around. You were getting in my head.
I was trying to get in your head, and looking back on it, maybe I went too far. But like they say, I think I thought that you perhaps weren't really trying. Like I thought maybe you thought, okay, I'm just going to have a bit of fun.
Yeah. So did you watch it back?
Didn't you?
No. Good God, no. It would be like,
this actually was painful for you.
It would be like watching like your own sex tape. Do you know what I mean? Where you're like, is that what I do? Are those the faces I pull? You know? No, I actually left the country. I was in Germany when it went on.
Really?
Yeah. I was thinking about you. How are you coping with lockdown? Because you strike me as somebody that seeks out people. And I was wondering how you were coping without your kind of fix of the peculiar and the oddball.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I'm also someone for whom work is an important release valve. But maybe like a lot of people, I don't think that makes me unusual. I think we all need that balance, don't we, of being sort of dumped on by our kids or our family at home, and then escaping to a work environment where you're treated or treat other people with a little bit more respect. It's all like, would you like something? Oh yes, I'll see you at 9, blah, blah. And everyone, somehow the level of discourse is a little bit more civilized than at home. And now it's round the clock, like turmoil, sort of Simpsons-like, mutual abuse and physical altercations. That being said, if I can neatly segue into this podcast that I've been doing, because I found that when I've started doing these interviews remotely via the internet with people that I am interested in or who I admire, for a podcast and a Radio 4 show, and I did find that when I started doing those, a missing piece reappeared. I was like, okay, that's what I do. That reminds me of one of those things that I enjoy, that's an important part of my personality, that kind of pleasure that you get in connecting with someone that you may never have met before.
So let's talk about the podcast. It's called Grounded, and it's you basically talking to people that you admire.
Yeah, or I'm interested in.
Who have you got on the show?
We've got Lenny Henry, Boy George, Miriam Margolyes, TV presenter and broadcaster Gail Porter, journalist and writer John Ronson.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, and you and John, very almost like the dream team of kind of TV investigative journalism.
Of a certain type of cerebral, anxious, slightly geeky, fringe dwelling, because we overlap. And in fact, John always used to say that we were rivals, and I suppose we are. And his quote was, Louis, I think we're like conjoined twins, and one of us has to die so that the other one can live. And I always thought that was a funny expression. He no longer feels that way, by the way.
Yeah. Now you were supposed to be, am I right? It's your 50th in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, May 20th. Thank you.
Did you have, presumably you had grand plans?
Well, out of character for me, we did actually have a plan. And, I thought we'd mark the half centenary. My wife, who's the more outgoing of the two of us and the more sort of socially kind of able, she planned a big, she actually knows how to talk to people and make arrangements. She planned a party at a pub where we were going to get lots of friends, and I was going to even maybe give a speech and all that razzmatazz. And as a result of COVID, if possibly COVID-19's ultimate crime is not the deaths of hundreds of thousands of people, but caused me to have to postpone my birthday plans.
Yeah. Well, I was in the same boat. It was
Let's talk about the real tragedy.
It was my 40th on the 23rd of March when lockdown started, and I was meant to be in Amsterdam, and it turned out that my wife had booked a surprise party for me, which I then had to unbook.
No.
So I had to sort out all the admin for my surprise party.
That's an indignity.
It was so bleak.
It was a surprise, I suppose, knowing that you had to do that.
This is it, yeah. So how are you going to celebrate your 50th instead?
I haven't really decided. Like, isn't that one of the biggest mysteries of this whole thing, is that it's not quite clear what life will look like on the other side?
Yeah.
I mean, I would like to have a big party in a pub, and maybe, I guess I'm willing to wait until next year if that's what has to happen.
So let's say in a year's time that you have your 50th, you've got a great big, like a multi-layered cake. Who would you love to leap out of that cake most?
Oh, wow. Who would I love to leap out of my multi-layered cake? That's a hard question. I'd like my wife to leap out of it. I know that sounds cheesy, but I'd like her to leap out of it naked.
Right, at the party?
Yeah.
Okay.
She wouldn't do it. Or just in her bikini. Like, I feel as though I'd just like us to mark, and she's not going to appreciate me saying this. Our relationship is one of the things that's I'm proudest of, that's kept me going through all of this. I think discovering that you can spend all these weeks together, right, at close quarters, and not, yes, shout and throw things at each other, sure, yeah, and hurl abuse, and storm off, right? Yeah, all of that happens, but still find that you love one another.
Enough that you wanted to see her leap out of a cake. That's lovely.
I don't know.
That's what love is.
You were looking for.
Brilliant. Well, that was so enjoyable. Good luck with the podcast. So where can people listen to it again?
I should mention it's called Grounded with Louis Theroux, and it is on BBC Sounds and also on Radio 4. The longer version is on BBC Sounds.
Brilliant. Louis, thank you very much for being on the show.
Pleasure.
Absolute joy. Stay safe, and I'll see you on the other side.
Thank you.
See you, mate. Lovely stuff. Join me after the break when I'll be talking to a lady from Refuge about the impact that lockdowns had on domestic violence, and we'll have music from Guvna B. See you in a bit. Welcome back to the show. Now, one of the unfortunate knock-on effects of lockdown has been the dramatic rise in domestic abuse, where a lot of people are stuck in abusive relationships without the help they need. Well, the next lady I'm speaking to is a lady called Lisa King, who works for Refuge, and we're going to have a chat about how we can help those people. So please welcome Lisa King.
Hi, Russell.
Can you tell us a little bit about what Refuge do?
Refuge is a national domestic abuse charity. So our primary purpose is to provide services to women and children experiencing domestic abuse. And right now, across the country, even during coronavirus, we're supporting over 6,500 women and children on any given day, and a further couple of hundred as a result of the domestic abuse helpline that we run.
What is the number in case there's someone watching?
It's a free phone number, and it runs every hour of every day, and it's 0808 2000 247.
And it must be so difficult at the moment because you're essentially locked up with your tyrant, and feeling like there's no way of getting out. And, I guess that's where organizations like you guys come into play.
Yeah, it's really true. I mean, domestic abuse is a major problem, and perpetrators use isolation and kind of cutting women off from their communities or friends and family members as a way to maintain that control. So a lockdown environment where we aren't able to go out and see friends or go to groups, you can't go to the GP very easily, you can't access support, that's really concerning for us, and it means that it's kind of enables perpetrators to kind of control and exert more domestic abuse than perhaps they've ever been able to.
What are the kind of common misconceptions around domestic abuse?
I think everybody recognises domestic abuse really as just the broken bones and black eyes, the physical side of domestic abuse. But actually, domestic abuse is sadly a much broader subject matter than that. It's all about power and control. And really, it's any way in which somebody exerts power and control over someone else. And that could be psychologically, emotionally, sexually, financially, and increasingly technologically as well. I mean, we all have our mobile phones and kind of live and die by them, but it's very easy to be kind of harassed on those devices, but also tracked and monitored. So there's lots of different ways in which women are controlled. And it's really important for people to understand that broader definition of domestic abuse. And put in its most simplest, if you change your behaviour because you're scared of your partner's reaction, that is domestic violence.
What can we do to help? Like, let's say we sort of suspect something bad is going on in a household and our street. What kind of advice would you give somebody like me that kind of thinks, well, I'm not sure what's going on over there?
I think, access information. We've got loads of great stuff on our website, how to support somebody you're concerned about. Maybe understand the signs of domestic abuse a bit more. Someone starts to change, the way they behave or what they do, where they go. If they seem agitated, that they have to quickly get off the phone, or they can't be on their phone for very long. They're not able to kind of reach out in the same way. Those are signs. If you hear that the person's partner is being jealous and possessive, they're all kind of very common traits of a woman who's experiencing domestic abuse. And I think if anybody out there wants to support Refuge, that is amazing. We just need as many opportunities as possible to talk about the subject, make sure women know that they're not alone, that it's not a taboo subject. It's we're here around the clock to provide support. And really to try and follow us on our Twitter feed, maybe at Refuge Charity, and retweet all the information that we put out there, because that way we're going to get to so many more women who need us right now. And that's the sort of support that would be amazing.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show, and hopefully, hopefully somebody sees this and it helps their situation. It's an incredibly important thing to talk about. So thank you very much indeed.
Thanks, Russ.
Thanks to Lisa and everyone at Refuge who are doing amazing work for women suffering from domestic violence. There's also other charities, Bernardo's helping out children that are being affected, and Respect runs a helpline for men. If you know anyone that you suspect is having a difficult time, then get in contact with those charities. My next guest is an award-winning rapper and best-selling author. You're used to seeing Guvna B like this.
Look like this flow here is called Stone Cold Stunner. Got knocked down, so it's time for the come up. Fight in my life, just know that I run up in the summer of the winner, and I'm coming out the winner. I've just got to figure in this, getting realer. I just keep my chin up, got to look within us. Can't stop the shivers, no, not beginners. Yeah, got some sinners, but God forgive us.
But today, he joins us like this.
Hello.
Hello, mate. How are you?
I'm good, thank you very much. You doing all right?
I'm okay. Yeah, I can't complain. How's lockdown treating you?
That's an interesting question. I think I've learned that it's okay to take a break, and my career is not going to crumble. I've been having lions and that kind of stuff, but I think it's well deserved, When it comes to these kind of new hobbies that I've picked up, like learning how to cook, more dishes and that kind of stuff, I think I've applied the same work ethic.
What's your dish of choice? How would you dazzle me?
Don't laugh, because it probably sounds quite basic to you, right? But I'm impressed with this dish because it looked exactly like it looked in a Wagamama's book, right? And it's mackerel, teriyaki mackerel with asparagus, and it tastes delightful.
That is all right. And how weird is that? Teriyaki mackerel with asparagus is also my safe word.
What?
I'm fucking around. I was like, you genuinely like, holy fuck, that interview changed quickly.
I was like, bro, what are the chances, man?
Yeah. Are you writing? Because you wrote a book, Unpopular Culture, which was a bestseller.
Yeah.
And are you sort of taking this time to try and think about the next book, or?
Yeah, definitely. So I'm writing a book with HarperCollins, which comes out in October, called Unspoken.
Oh, really?
And it sounds really depressing, but I think it's going to be really helpful. So it's about my grief process when I lost my dad a couple of years ago, and just kind of realised that I wasn't that well equipped to deal with loss and grief. So I'm just hoping it will help loads of young people with different options and healthy ways that you can actually process your loss. and move forward. Because when I was growing up, it was just kind of like, life goes on, get on with it, don't cry, don't show emotion, stiff upper lip, that kind of thing. But I think there's healthier ways, man.
Excellent. And you're also going to perform a song for us today.
Yeah. So this song is called Fall on Me. I wrote it because, basically my life and the news were very depressing, and I thought I need something positive to look forward to. So hopefully people find it a positive outlet.
Amazing. Well, do you want to take it away for us?
I shall.
Phenomenal.
Yeah. Sometimes it feels like I don't belong here. It's been a long year. Hands are made for working and we get them dirty. I've been noticing the traps cause they set them early. It's an uphill struggle and I was never worthy. I don't know why God trusted me with this life. It's like my faults and failures, they've been disguised. Devil on my shoulder and he's hoping that my gift dies. We've been praying for angels over this side. I feel for this generation and pray for wisdom. We've been battling failures and addictions. Racism, kids rotting in prison. Trapped in a system, it's like they've lost vision. And I ain't got the answers. Feels like a cop-out when I say I pray about it, cause times are getting harder, but I feel a sense of comfort when I'm talking to the Father. So when I'm out of words, I don't complain, I just say this. Blessings fall on me, blessings fall on me. Yeah, blessings fall on me, let good things fall on me. Yeah, blessings fall on me, blessings fall on me. Blessings fall on me, let good things fall on me. I do this to affect change. That's why I picked up a pen and pad in the first place. Helps me on my worst days. I know that people relate to pain. Everyone wants to know that we're not alone in the rain. And I get that. We're all praying for a jetpack so we can step back and fly over the setbacks. I'm on my Sam Cooke. It's been a long time coming, but a change is gonna come and I rep that. It's hard when I look into my mother's eyes. To summarize, she ain't been the same since her husband died. Truth is, neither have I or my brother like. Soon enough, see him on the other side. Till then, we gotta look at the positives. There's power in the one that we're following. I guess that's a love. And mama, of course, I'll give you my love. But there ain't nothing like the love from above. So mom, say this. Blessings fall on me. Blessings fall on me. Yeah. Blessings fall on me. Let good things fall on me. Blessings fall on me, blessings fall on me. Blessings fall on me, let good things fall on me. That was Fall on Me. Thank you very much.
That was amazing. Thanks very much.
Nah, thanks for having me on, man. It was an absolute pleasure.
Stay safe, mate. Take care.
You too, brother.
Brilliant. So give it up for all my guests. We had Louis Theroux, we had Lisa King, and then we had Guvna B. As ever, you can get in contact using the hashtag HomeTime. Send me any ideas you've got for the show.
Mackerel teriyaki!
I gotta go.